Hello, hello. This is Leslie Walker-Hirsch for Glass Alliance, New Mexico, and today I'm happy to say I'm talking to maestro artist Gabe Feenan, who is very modestly a gaffer at the Museum of Glass in Tacoma, Washington. Gabe, hi, how are you?
I'm great, thanks. How
Well,
are
it's
you?
really glad to see you again, just electronically this time.
Yeah.
Um, So listen, how did you become interested in glass? What was your inspiration for that?
Well, it was funny, kind of funny story. I wasn't really, I would say, interested in glass. I kind of found it on accident. Back in 1996, I happened to be living in a 1952 Chevy school bus. It was parked in a warehouse across the street from the glass studio. So I got a part-time job at the glass studio, sweeping the floors, shoveling the glass into the furnace, and cold working. And I fell in love with it. The boss liked my work, and he took me on full time. So I was actually in school at the time, not really sure what I was going to do, and I just stuck with it. And that was almost 21 years ago. So
Well, some people have great artistry thrust upon them by accident, and aren't we all lucky that you did? So that's
I
great.
feel lucky.
We're all lucky. And so, how would you describe your work? Less modestly, por favor.
Well, I mean, it's technically driven. What I do on a day-to-day basis is figure out how to take two-dimensional drawings and make them into three-dimensional objects. So, on a 9 to 5 basis, I'm tasked with this. I work with a crew of people, and we figure it out. So my work is definitely rooted in technical glass blowing. I like to take very simple shapes and make complex objects. Um, it's I'm inspired by the vessel, but I mean these things they're not really. You don't need to put a flower in them to appreciate them. I'm really trying to break down the vessel into its really basic forms and create complex compositions, studies of proportion, playing with the qualities that I love about glass, the optics. So I've been implementing solid elements, blown elements, and kind of arranging them in different ways to make something that is unique. It's nice to look at. Proportion is probably the most important thing. When I design my objects, I do it a lot on graph paper, and so I draw them very rigidly. Um, Color comes second to me. I mean, I love color, but that's kind of the hardest part for me sometimes is color because I'm so driven by form. So color sometimes is just secondary. It's just it's a byproduct, to show off the form. So
Well, very interesting. I know that the glass piece that we watched you make in Santa Fe last week was exquisitely performed, the glass dance, so to speak.
well, thank you. For me, like taking a material that wants to be soft, it wants to have soft edges. It's a liquid. It doesn't want to have rigid lines. It doesn't want to be straight. So for me to be able to to take that material and make it straight and as rigid as possible, it's always a challenge, and that's why I do this. It's because it's challenging. If it wasn't challenging to me, then my interest would just flail. So a lot of people ask me if I glue my work together or why don't you glue it together, and it would bore me, And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing for people to glue glass together because there's some beautiful work out there, that is assembled in the cold shop. But for me, my interest kind of wanes once it's off the pipe. I like the immediacy of it. You can't stop and think about it. You have to do all your thinking before, and once that piece is on the end of a pipe, you're committed, and I love that. I love taking a project, starting it, and it may be hard at times. You're going to sweat. Things may hit the floor, but really trying to perfect it when it's hot.
Well, that's great. It's really good. So how would a collector who wanted to maybe commission a work or see more of your work, how would the collector find you?
Well, right now I'm exhibiting at Vetri Glass in Seattle. So I had a show there last year. It was titled Based, and there are some of my works available through Vetri Glass. Currently, I've been creating a new body of work, and it will be shown at the Duncan McClellan Gallery in St. Petersburg, Florida. It'll be up from October to November, and I will be there doing a demonstration and a talk in November. So,
Well, November's a good time to be in Florida.
yeah, I'm looking forward to the warmth. I'll be starting to really set into the fall stage here in the Pacific Northwest, so it'll be nice to get a little respite from the rain and the clouds.
Great. Well, Gabe, I'm so glad you had a few minutes to spend talking with me this morning. As you know, this will be in the June 1st newsletter, so any day you'll be circulated through the Santa Fe Glass Alliance, New Mexico newsletter. And I will talk again soon. Thanks, Gabe.
I'm really flattered. Thanks.
So long.
Bye.